Goku vs Pikkon is the 5th episode of the Otherworld Saga and the 199th overall episode of the Uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on September 1st, 1993. Its original American air date was September 14th, 2001. Everyone is stunned by Goku's Super Saiyan power, especially Pikkon. The 3Ks are confused, so King K explains it to them. Goku suddenly fires a Kamehameha, but Pikkon dodges it. Goku senses Pikkon and fires a series of blasts at him, but none of them hit Pikkon. Goku looks for him, but Pikkon tells Goku to look above him. Pikkon tells Goku he is disappointed in his concentration, and uses his Hyper Tornado attack. Goku is caught in the winds, and gets cut numerous times. Pikkon tells Goku to give up, but Goku powers up, and breaks up the tornado. Goku uses the Super Kaioken while Super Saiyan, and hits Pikkon hard, sending him crashing into a meteor. He tries to fire a Kamehameha, but Pikkon crashes into him. Pikkon charges towards Goku, but Goku fires a blast at him, and there is then a struggle. Pikkon stops charging, and lands on the ground. Everyone is stunned by these powerful fighters. Pikkon cannot believe Goku's strength. Goku tells Pikkon that it is because he is powerful. A tough opponent brings out the best in him. Pikkon suddenly powers up and uses the Thunder Flash attack. Goku is completely defenseless against Pikkon's assault. He barely manages to get up when Pikkon suddenly uses the Thunder Flash attack again. This time, Goku blocks some of it, but he is still hurt by the attack. Pikkon flies into the air and fires an energy blast at Goku, but Goku suddenly teleports into the air, and the two start fighting. All of the Ks are stunned. Goku and Pikkon blast each other, and both start spiraling out of control. The crowd cannot see the two of them, but the Grand K is watching them. Goku and Pikkon land on the ceiling, and regain their balance. They start fighting again. Goku fires a Kamehameha, but Pikkon deflects it. Goku realizes he must catch Pikkon off guard. Suddenly, Pikkon hits Goku and sends him crashing into the ground. Pikkon lands and starts to use the Thunder Flash attack again. Goku looks for a weak point in the attack. As Pikkon is about to attack, Goku finds it. Pikkon fires, but Goku teleports behind Pikkon and fires a Kamehameha at close range. Pikkon is caught off guard by the attack and is knocked out of the ring. Goku helps Pikkon up and tells him it was a mistake to use the Thunder Flash attack a third time. By then, he had seen the attack enough times to find a weak point. Pikkon congratulates Goku and walks off. Suddenly, the Grand K announces that Goku and Pikkon are both disqualified. Since both fighters landed on the ceiling, which is technically the floor, they are landed outside the ring. Goku agrees. The Grand K says that he will give Goku and Pikkon his private lessons in 200 years. Goku is pleased that he will get to train with the Grand K and runs off. Several years later, on Earth, a teenage Gohan gets ready to leave. Kai runs out and tells Gohan he forgot his lunch. Gohan tells Kai goodbye and flies on the flying Nimbus to high school.
Trivia: this is the final episode to use Shalahad Charla and Itikoi Tobakiri Zenkai Power as the intro and outro music respectively, which was introduced when Dragon Ball Z premiered. It is also the final episode to use the Goku and Baby Gohan eye catchers. In the Funimation dub, Kyle Hebert replaces Stephanie Nadolny for the voice of Gohan. Due to having the character grown up in the Ocean dub, Brad Swale replaces Jillian Michaels for the voice of Gohan. Due to having the character grown up.
Gohan Goes to High School is the 6th episode of the Great Saiyaman Saga and the 200th overall episode of the Uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on September 8, 1993. Its original American air date was September 17, 2001. The episode started off with Gohan defeating Cell, earlier shown off from Save the World, and being a young man who is known for fighting Raditz, Vegito, Ginyu, Frieza, Garlic Jr., and Cell. Gohan is now a focused, peaceful scholar who is known for his battles in the past, and he became a primary warrior after his father's death at the hands of Cell's self-destruction. Meanwhile, he realized that some crooks robbing a bank at Satan City, known as Orange Star City. After getting all their money they escape. Meanwhile, Gohan is late for school, so he decides to go turbo speed. On the way, Gohan passes the bank. Seeing what was going on, he thought he'd help, so that no one would recognize him. He turned Super Saiyan and began knocking out some crooks. After finishing the job, Gohan slipped away from the scene, but not without bumping into a curious girl named Videl, who wanted to know what had happened as it did not look like police work. Gohan said he must have missed it and left, while an old man who witnessed Gohan in Super Saiyan form told Videl of the Gold Fighter, Super Saiyan Gohan, who had stopped the robbers. At the Orange Star High School, Gohan was introduced to the class. Videl was in the same class as him, and began thinking of how he looked familiar. Erisa then told Gohan that Videl was Mr. Satan's daughter. Gohan was quite surprised. Videl then pointed out that Gohan wore the same clothing as the Gold Fighter. Gohan chuckled and said it was funny that they dressed alike. Next it was gym class and time for baseball. Gohan did not want to show his powers, but did so without knowing as he jumped 25 feet in the air to what was supposed to be Sharpner's home run, and threw it to third base so hard that the ball sizzled in the third baseman's glove, doubling up the other baser runner. When it was time for Gohan to bat, Sharpner intentionally threw the baseball at Gohan's face, expecting him to duck like a sissy as revenge for catching his home run. Gohan was unaffected, and then jogged to first base as he had a walk. As school ended, Sharpner caught up with Gohan in the hallway, and asked him if he joined any after-school clubs. Gohan told him he did not, and Sharpner offered him to join the boxing club, but Gohan refused for no reason given. Erisa then backed him up, saying that Gohan has an extra long ride home. Sharpner asks why Gohan could not move to Satan City, and Gohan explained to him the reason, which is not heard. School was now over, and Gohan was heading home, but not without Videl following him down the streets of Satan City. Gohan easily escaped her viewing range and headed home. Now Gohan had to find a way to use his powers and not be seen by his classmates. He then headed straight to Bulma's, as he knew she could help.
Trivia number 1. This is the first episode to use We Gotta Powered as the intro sequence song. Also first episode to feature a new outro song Boku Tachi wa Tenshi Data, means we were angels, and the car eye catches. All of these remain until the end of Dragon Ball Z. Number 2. This is the first appearance of Videl and her friends in the series. Number 3. The gym teacher of the Orange Star High School, which appears this episode, looks similar to Freddie Mercury, the singer and leader of the band Queen. Number 4. In the Funimation dub, after Videl tries to expose Gohan's identity as the Gold Fighter during class, Sharpner tells her, who in the world's ever heard of a book nerd, secretly being a superhero. This is an obvious reference to Stan Lee's Spider-Man comic book series, as Peter Parker is a nerd in school while also being Spider-Man. Number 5. The 19th Shansuke Kakashi music package for the franchise starts here. The cues were designated M17XX codes. Number 6. This is the first episode to use music from BoJack Unbound.
I'm Saiyaman is the 7th episode of the Great Saiyaman Saga and the 201st overall episode of the Uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on September 15, 1993. Its original American air date was September 18, 2001. The episode starts out with Gohan going to Bulma's house to get a costume so that he can fight crime. Then, he is sitting down at Capsule Corporation, and Bulma comes in the room and says she will make a suit for Gohan. As she says it will take 2 hours, Gohan takes a walk around the building and comes across Trunks. The two start talking, and then Vegeta walks into the room and tells Gohan that he is wasting his time and power at school. Finally the 2 hours are up, so Gohan goes back to Bulma. Bulma tells Gohan that he can put on the costume by pressing the red button on the watch she gave him. Gohan tries it and likes the suit, while Trunks think it is stupid looking. Gohan gets on the flying Nimbus and leaves. He then decides he doesn't need the flying Nimbus anymore, so he transforms and jumps off. He notices cars speeding way over the speed limit and decides to stop them. Gohan lands in the middle of the road. The guys in the car stop and start yelling him, asking him who he thinks he is. After a bit of thought, Gohan calls himself the Great Saiyaman. The two guys start laughing and call it a stupid name. Gohan gets angry and starts pounding his foot on the ground, creating a huge crack in the ground's head. They quickly recant and say that it is a cool name. Gohan goes home, where he practices changing in and out of Great Saiyaman. The next day, a bus gets hijacked, and Videl gets called out to rescue the people. Gohan wants to help, so he asks the teacher if he can go to the bathroom. He then runs outside and transforms and goes to the bus. Videl takes care of the hijackers when the bus goes off a cliff. Then the Great Saiyaman catches the bus and poses for the people before leaving, and Videl suspects something about the Great Saiyaman.
Trivia Number 1. This episode in episode 202 has an alternative jingle during the second half of the eye catch. Number 2. This episode shows Bulma smoking a cigarette, a habit she most likely picked up from her father. She is first seen smoking in the chapter 5 of the manga. Number 3. This is the first episode Goten appears in. When he first appears, the narrator refers to Goten as the son Goku left with Chi-Chi when he went off to battle Cell. Going from the way the narrator puts this comment, it is possible Goten was born prior to Goku's departure for the Cell games, though this isn't further substantiated. Most likely, the narrator's comment refers to Goku impregnating Chi-Chi, and not Goten's birth, since in the Funimation dub, the narrator goes on to refer to Goten as the son Goku never got to see. Number 4. When Gohan faces his concern about Videl taking on hijackers on her own to sharpen her and Irasa, they assure him that Videl is as strong as her father, making Gohan think of how Mr. Satan was knocked out of the ring by Cell. But rather than using the footage of that episode for that flashback scene, they completely reshot that scene, making it rather different. The difference being that Mr. Satan approaches Cell from behind, and rather than being hit in the back of his head, Cell slaps Mr. Satan in the face and sending him flying out of the ring in the completely the opposite direction. However, it's possible that it is just Gohan's memory of the event which may explain the differences, as a person's memory is fluid and can change. It should be noted that the Cell games happened 7 years prior. Number 5. Bulma's appearance is updated in this episode. Her hairstyle is now bowl cut and also wears gold hoop earrings, which will become Bulma's new hairstyle until episode 289, where she adds an open bang to her bowl cut hairstyle and her gold hoop earrings are replaced with gold triangle earrings. Number 6. Bulma is wearing a green dress in this episode. She doesn't wear her green dress again until he's always late.
Gohan's first date is the 8th episode of the Great Saiyaman Saga and the 202nd overall episode of the Uncut Dragon Ball Z series. The episode first aired on September 29, 1993. Its original American air date was November 27, 2001. Gohan is flying with his costume to high school. Then he lands, takes off his Great Saiyaman clothes, and sees a red-haired girl named Angela on the roof, and thinks she saw him transform back to Gohan. He goes back to class and the teacher tells Gohan to answer something, but Gohan is daydreaming. He is saying to himself, "I was so stupid to turn back to Gohan." Then, the teacher sends him out for daydreaming to hold 2 water buckets. When the teacher tells Angela to answer the same question, she draws a love picture of Gohan. The teacher sends her out for not paying attention. Angela then tells Gohan that she knows Gohan's secret. She says, "If you don't go on a date with me, I will tell everyone your secret." Gohan accepts the date. Later, when Gohan goes home, he asks Chi-Chi if he can go on a date. She approves and tells him about when she forced Goku on a date with her. Chi-Chi starts dreaming of his first date, which humorously ended with Goku and Chi-Chi having a sparring match. She then says it was a great first date, and calls Goku a rascal. During the date, Gohan and Angela go see a movie. After a while, Gohan gets bored and loses interest. Angela soon becomes angry and begins to leave, so Gohan apologizes to her, and the date continues. They go to a coffee shop. After watching the movie, Angela asks Gohan to put 10 packets of sugar in her coffee. Gohan is surprised and tells Angela that that is a lot of sugar. Angela happily tells him That is how she gets her bubbliness, shocking Gohan. While walking, they notice a building on fire. Videl immediately comes to put out the fire. She sees a water tank on the roof and tries to open it, so the water within it will release and stop the fire, but the water tank handle doesn't budge. Gohan then transforms into the Great Saiyaman and saves Videl from getting injured. He then punches a hole into the water tank and extinguishes the fire. While Videl is talking to the reporters, she sees Gohan sneaking away from the scene. She stops Gohan and whispers something to Gohan. Angela sees Gohan with Videl and thinks that Gohan is trying to kiss Videl, probably because Videl is leaning into his face. So, she tells a secret to Videl that 2 days ago she saw Gohan in the locker room and saw his teddy bear underwear. Gohan asks about the incident on the roof. Then Angela tells him she did not have her contact lenses on at that time. She then dumps Gohan. The next day, she is seen flirting with another guy.
Trivia Number 1. This episode's English version did not air on its intended date of September 19, 2001, because it features a tall building that is aflame. Given that this would have aired 8 days after the 9/11 terrorist attacks, it was determined to be too sensitive to air. Therefore, the next episode, Rescue Videl, was aired in its place. It ended up debuting on November 27, 2001. 2.5 months after the 9/11. Number 2. Despite Kid Goku only making a cameo appearance in this episode, he has 2 different voices in the initial Funimation dub of this scene for some reason. His first spoken line is delivered by Laura Bailey, which marks the only time she has ever voiced Goku, while his remaining lines are delivered by Stephanie Nadolny, Kid Goku's regular voice actor in the Funimation dub, as well as Angelus in this episode. The first line was later redubbed by Nadolny. Number 3. Furthermore, Kid Chi-Chi was voiced by Monica Antonelli for the first and only time in this episode.